So here I am making some ghee, fantastic homemade ghee, which is really also clarified butter. So I have in this pot 8 pounds of unsalted butter cooking and boiling, and pretty soon the ghee has been, first you keep it on a very low flame, and once all the foam settles down and the milk solids separate like you see here, the milk solids are separating, and you see all this clear liquid coming up. The ghee is almost ready. But if you want a little bit toasty flavor, like I do like it to have that strong toasty flavor, you give it a few more minutes, and I will show it to you again when it's almost done. So give me, like, I think it needs another, let's say 3 or 4 minutes, because at this point it goes really quick. You have to be watching it. As you see, while I have this video on, it is separating beautifully and the color is changing. So the color will start getting more and more brown, and you'll get a more of a nutty, fragrance rising. So I'm just going to watch it really close and come back and show you what it looks like. Here's my ghee actually 10 minutes later, because I really had 8 pounds. And as you see it, it's, how do I know it's done? Because you see this, like this oily liquid separated, and the milk and butter solids have settled at the bottom. And you would want to start turning it off now, because remember, it's going to keep on cooking due to the heat of the, it's like oil, it's like hot oil. So because of the heat of it, it's going to keep cooking in its own liquid, and the butter solids will settle down at the bottom. And when it cools down, all I have to do is strain it. So after I let it sit like this, it's going to take a long time, a few hours to cool down. But I'm giving it a good stir because I don't want the milk solids at the bottom to burn. And like you see, it's, even though it's turned down, it's still cooking. And I'm going to take it off my hot stove so we don't have to deal with a mess. Okay? And so that's what it is. So here you see my ghee done, and you know it's done. You see the color of those butter solids have changed color, and you have to always move it away from the heat because it will now otherwise overflow. So I had to stop the camera and move it away from the heat. And all this foam, don't worry about it, it will settle down. And this would not be a good time to strain it because it's very hot, and you want it to really cool down well. So it'll take a few hours because it's so much quantity. Usually if I'm making a little bit, which I will show you what it looks like, which I just made some earlier this week, when I'm making a little container like this, it cooks really fast and cools down really well. So look how hard it is. As you see, this is what it looks like. And I wish I could let you smell it, but it smells great. And this is what the finished product will look like. It hardens as the temperatures cool where I am, and that's what the finished one looks like. This is the one that's just being cooked, and we're gonna let it cool down. So now if I'm like moving the spoon around, you see the clear liquid butter, which is now converted to ghee, and it has a beautiful toasty flavor. And the only reason we have to strain it because we want to get rid of these butter solids. Let me show you what they look like. Here we go. Not touching them because it's very hot. So we want to get rid of that, and we're going to be left with this. Okay, so it's very simple, like I showed you step by step. We just boil the butter first on like a medium heat, and then we can take the heat up in the last about 10 minutes. Make sure you're around, you don't walk away, because it will burn. See how the foam settled down? Here you go, see that? Now the foam settled down, and you see the clarity. So you see this clear ghee now. That is really good ghee. And at the bottom we have the solids, and on the sides. So we're gonna just wait for this to cool down and strain it through a nut bag, or even a very fine colander, either way. But if you strain it through a nut bag, you see how it's still cooking in its own heat. You can see how it's still like, and it's on a cool counter. So it's the heat of the butter that's still cooking it. So you just want to really make sure you do not strain it. Now it's going to be very hot, so do not touch it. Let it cool down for a couple of hours, and then strain it through a nut bag and store it. And there you have ghee, which is way cheaper to make at home than buying the ready ghee. So you can buy a good quality unsalted butter and make the ghee yourself. And it's super quick if you're just making it from a pound. I was making 8 pounds, so it'll take longer to cool down. Okay, enjoy it and let us know, and subscribe to our channel for easy recipes like these.